When I was a kid, I dreamt of having a huge wedding with over 100 guests and a Cinderella-like dress. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But anyways, you get the gist. I thought that fairy tale wedding was exactly what I wanted. But as I grew older, I realized this was less of my own desire and it was more of societal norms just being pushed onto me as a little girl. And once I actually became an adult, I realized that weddings were not that important to me. Now, that doesn't need to be the same for you. My journey is going to look different from yours, and in no way am I saying that weddings are meaningless or nobody should have a wedding. My point though is to be here as an advocate if you or someone you know feels pressured into having a wedding or feels like that they must do this to conform to society's standards. This is me as your big sister to tell you, no, you don't need to have a wedding if you don't want to. In my 27 years of being alive, a lot of people have told me that weddings were a huge waste of money. Actually, my acupuncturist told me that him and his wife were looking at their wedding photo and they couldn't even recognize a majority of the people in the photo. And he was saying that as the years went by, he realized that a lot of those people weren't even their genuine friends or weren't even an integral part of their lives, but they went ahead and hashed out what, $30,000, $50,000 to make that wedding happen. And so it got me thinking, why do people spend so much money on weddings and spend so much money on hosting an event for people that don't even end up being a huge part of their union, of their marriage, of their future? It really is a waste of money. I personally would prefer to celebrate with a few people that I know are really rooting for me, really care about me, are actually going to be a part of me and my fiance's life. So rather than inviting my twice removed cousin, my uncle who lives in another country, and my old friends from grade school that I don't talk to, why do I even need to throw this event for the masses when truly a wedding is all about you and your partner? It's all about forming a union. It's all about forming this sacred contract between you, your partner, and God. I personally would prefer to invest that money in a home, in a honeymoon, in something that would benefit my partner and I directly. There's also this interesting study done, and they found that those who spent more than $20,000 on their wedding in 2014, which in today's dollars is closer to $25,000, were 46% more likely to get divorced. So as we can see here, the amount of money that you spend on your wedding has no association with how long you and your partner will last. It doesn't in any way strengthen your union or make it more likely that you guys won't get divorced. So why would you hash out all this money for one night to please people who aren't even going to be a part of you and your partner's future? Another reason why I personally reject weddings is it's a societal norm, and anything that is a societal norm is something that I question and ponder. I'm truly a philosopher at heart, and I always reconsider things that are expected of me. Why is it that we are all expected to follow this trajectory? Go to college, get a job, get married, have kids. Why is it that anyone who breaks out of these norms is judged, is classified, is stereotyped? That is the same thing with weddings. The minute that you voice that you don't want to have a wedding, people will push you and peer pressure you into doing it. I have realized this myself. I've had people tell me, why don't you just have a small gathering? Why don't you just do a dinner? As much as I appreciate their feedback, I personally believe it should be a decision between you and your partner. Nobody else should be a part of that equation, not even your family. The other part of a wedding that I don't really like is how it's kind of like a show. I truly believe that the sacred and the spiritual is taken out of it when it is this rehearsed thing, like that kind of has a script and all these steps. I think that A true union is a contract that you make between you and your partner and God, and it doesn't involve all of these robotic steps that need to be observed by all of these people. Another thing that I dislike about weddings is how there is such a huge emphasis on weddings, and so many couples prioritize their wedding even over their own partnership. Like, I have known so many women who spent all of this time planning a wedding and planning a venue and planning the food and the flowers just to realize that their partner wasn't even really a good match for them to begin with. I think that weddings can be a distraction, and a lot of times people spend so much time and effort planning a wedding, but their own partnership isn't strong. They don't really have much that they like about their partner besides that, oh, they're gonna have this wedding together. So for those of you who are going to have a wedding, just make sure that you are not heavily focusing on the wedding so much that you forget to think about the things that really matter, which is you and your partner and the health of your guys' relationship, and if you guys are truly compatible long term. Don't just focus on the dress, on the venue, on the ring. Focus on what truly counts, which is you and your partner. Does he add value to your life? Does he uplift you? Has your quality of life gone up since meeting him? Do you guys have healthy dialogues? Do you know him? Are you interested in getting to know him better? All of these things are so much more important than how nice or how fancy your wedding is. The last thing that is just so weird about weddings is how people rush into planning almost immediately once they get engaged. I didn't realize like how quickly I would be bombarded by questions about when's the wedding, when are you getting married, have you planned the wedding, literally not even the same week that we had gotten engaged. Why are we in this culture that's obsessed with what's the next step? Why are we literally always asking somebody what their next move is if they've planned their next thing? Why can't we just fully embrace and soak in this present moment and truly enjoy being a fiance, truly enjoy our engagement period? I think that in the Western culture, and actually in a lot of cultures, the engagement period just needs to be sped up, and a lot of people are looked down for having longer engagements, even though studies have found that longer engagements have a positive correlation with not getting divorced. It was found that couples who dated for at least 3 years before their engagement were 39% less likely to get divorced than couples who dated less than a year before engagement. It has been found that dating someone longer and even having a longer engagement increases your chances of a happy lifelong marriage. So why are we speeding it up? Why are we rushing the process? Why are we skipping steps? It really is disheartening to me when I hear of people just jumping into marriages and then quickly getting divorced, or jumping into planning a wedding and then realizing, hey, this isn't my person after all. So I really advise you guys to take your time, take things slow. Personally, my partner and I dated for 4 years before getting engaged, and I know a lot of people were like, when are you guys getting married? When's he gonna ask the big question? And it's kind of annoying because I wasn't in a rush, he wasn't in a rush. We honestly felt like we were progressing and growing as a couple, and I don't think that dating someone for 3 months gives you a good enough idea of who they are and gives you all the facts before you say yes to committing to this person for life. I think you should take your time. 3 years is fine. 5 years is fine too. And when you get engaged, don't just rush into planning. Enjoy that moment as being a fiance. Enjoy that moment of, not knowing when your wedding will be. Enjoy that time of not having this extra responsibility and this extra hassle. of needing to have these dates figured out and all of these things in order. A lot of the things that people do in society, bridal showers, bridal parties, bachelorette parties, gender reveal parties, is honestly just a big waste of money. It's just a huge cycle of consumerism. I'm not going to say that I'll never have any of these events or celebrate any of these milestones, but I think you need to realize, what do I truly want deep down? What is going to make my partner and I happiest? Don't just fall into the trap of doing what everyone else did. Don't just follow this plan blindly because your parents want it for you. Truly make the decision that's best for you, and that will guarantee the success of your partnership and your marriage more than anything else. I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts below on what you guys think about weddings. Let me know, have you guys had a wedding? Do you plan on having a wedding? And what about like bridal parties and bachelorette parties and all of these things? I'm still debating if I will have any of these events. I'm almost going to be engaged for a year in June, and I honestly feel great. I don't feel rushed or pressured to do anything, and I'm really just soaking in this time as a fiance, and I love it here. I also want to mention that I do understand that some couples do need to make moves more quickly and kind of plan things accordingly because they want kids and because that's something that they want to do within the first year or two of getting engaged. I understand that, but just please take your time, realize that life is short and you want to do things that really fulfill you and make you happy. So just be able to really figure out what is a true desire that comes from within and what's more of a societal standard that has been pushed upon you, because I think a lot of times we lose our own voice and we get lost in the sauce and we start doing things not because we want to, but because other people want it for us. So I hope that this video shed light at least on why I personally don't think weddings are important. Obviously, we're all entitled to our own opinion. I respect your opinion, and I hope that you will respect mine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye!